There's only one, so I say light heavyweight champion. Undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world, Bernard the Executioner Hopkins. What's the latest and greatest, Bernard?
The latest is I'm in New York City, ready to announce the major super fight December 8th, 2007. Of course, Mayweather pound for pound, best fighter on the planet, against Ricky Hatton, which I call like the Raging Bull / Roberto Duran when he was a lightweight. I think this is going to be one of those fights, man, where, you know, it reminds me of Ray Leonard and Duran. Now, of course, Duran won the first fight, and I'm not saying that Ricky has going to win the first fight or going to win any fight if it's the second one. But I'll say it will be that type of chemistry. It'll be that type of rival in 2007. And guess who's involved? We are. Golden Boy Promotion, the leading and the best promoter team of this boxing era. So I think it's great, man. We're doing big things in a year that's winding down to 2008.
When will you fight next? Obviously, there's going to be a demand for you to face the winner of the November 3rd fight between Calzaghe and Kessler, as well as the January fight between Trinidad and Jones. Which is your preference?
Well, the Trinidad and Jones fight, to me, is something I'm not even interested in. You're talking about two guys that has a name, but that's basically it. I have a name and still have the ability to win big fights. Right now, I think the big fight for me is to motivate me and get me up and have a purpose to it is Joe fight with Calzaghe after the Kessler and him battle, I think November 8th. But as far as Jones and Trinidad, I mean, I can't knock the hustle, but I think that's actually what they're doing. You got two names and that's it. You got names, but you don't have really substance. So I think Roy should beat Trinidad, but I don't think it would be a fight that everybody will be running to spend $50 for. The fight that I would like to fight, if the fight can be made, and Joe Calzaghe don't make no unrealistic demands, it will be with Joe early next year or before the spring of next year. That's a big fight that will bring Bernard Hopkins back in the ring.
You know, boxing hardcore fans and the experts wouldn't argue that Calzaghe's a bigger challenge and will probably mean more legacy-wise. But in terms of pay-per-view buys, I'm sure most would agree that the Jones-Trinidad winner against you would equate to more pay-per-view buys than the Calzaghe-Kessler winner. Don't you think so?
I disagree. I think the Joe Calzaghe fight and Bernard Hopkins fight, if Joe wins that fight, and this is a big if, because this guy, Kessler, is not a pushover, I think by having the England market so backed by, backing Joe Calzaghe, and then you have myself, who's recognized worldwide, even in his country, I think is easy to see that the fight with Bernard Hopkins and Joe Calzaghe is bigger than a Roy Jones and Bernard Hopkins or a Bernard Hopkins in Trinidad. I think that people will want to see can Bernard Hopkins take away Joe Calzaghe's O and make it be not undefeated. So that's the thing. Roy got losses on his record. Trinidad got losses on his record. I fought both of these guys. I didn't embarrass myself in either of those fights. I split 1-1. And Joe Calzaghe, as of today, don't know how it is to have a loss on his record. So I think, contrary to what you were saying, that would be a bigger fight because of Roy and Trinidad. I think it'd be a bigger fight between me and Joe Calzaghe than a Roy and a Trinidad fight.
That's what it is. We're going to have a lot more Bernard on Boxing Talk in the coming weeks leading up to his next move. In the meantime, give us some closing thoughts for the fans.
Well, first of all, the closing thought is that Golden Boy's representing big boxing between now and December. And then, next year it's going to look even brighter for Golden Boy, and especially my nephew, Demetrius Hopkins, who will be fighting for a world title. We're trying to get the guy from New York, the flashing Italian stallion, I call him, Palinale. I'd love to see Demetrius and him get it together. And you know what? It could be in Atlantic City, it could be in New York City. They both hometown guys from close to different cities. That would be a huge fight for 2008. And one way or the other, Demetrius being that #1 spot, he'll get the fight if he can keep the title between now and then.